Welcome to your Farm and Home Show. My name is Joanna Coles, and this morning we're visiting with Jonathan Shepard. He's with the University of Kentucky, agriculture economics specialist there. But could you tell us a little bit about the Corporate Transparency Act?
The Corporate Transparency Act has actually been on the books since January of 2021, but did not go into effect until January of 2024. And so it kind of caught some people off guard, even though it's been out there for quite some time. There wasn't a real big educational push from the federal government. And so it kind of snuck up on people. And then now we're having to kind of think through what we need to be doing in regards to complying with this act. The basis of the act is another attempt by the federal government to, tackle things like money laundering and terrorism and things like that. It's an extension of other efforts to try to, make sure that people are not doing things they shouldn't do with their money. So it affects farmers and any business owners because if you are an entity, as we like to call it. So you think of like LLCs, corporations, any kind of entity really that requires a state filing. So if you had to file something with the Secretary of State, most likely at least one, if not multiple individuals associated with that business are going to be required to comply with this act. The only exception is a general partnership because it doesn't require a state filing.
And so basically, all people have to do is go online and fill out a form with the needed information.
That's correct. You can go to the FinCEN website, which is the Financial Crimes Enforcement Network, just known as FinCEN, and go and see all the information that you need to comply with this. And it's not a really big thing to do. Just basic information typically about the business, the beneficial owners. You got to upload a picture of your driver's license, things like that. But all that information is there on their website and step by step on what you need to do to register.
But they are pretty serious about this because when you're looking at the penalties and those type of things, they're rather large.
They are. So the law was written that there's a $500 per day penalty that's indexed for inflation. So I think right now we're at $591 per day fine potentiality, up to a $10,000 maximum. And then jail time is part of that too. If it's, intentional disregard of the law, the law does provide for jail time if you're found to be flagrantly, violating this and knowing you should do it and not doing it.
Yes, and people who already have LLCs or S corps or C corps, they have a period to be able to complete this form. Is that correct?
That's correct. So if your entity was formed before January 1 of 2024, you have until the end of this year. So you have until December 31st of 2024 to make that initial filing for anything that existed for this calendar year. If you formed an entity within this calendar year, so if you formed after January 1 of 2024, but before December 31st of 2024, you have 90 days to comply. And then any entity that is formed after January 1 of 2025, you actually only have a 30-day window to comply with this. It could be the fact that you think, oh, I'm a member of an LLC, but I'm a silent partner. I don't really do anything, but you could, even though you don't own 25% of the business, you could still fit underneath that substantial control umbrella and still be required to report. I actually encourage you to go talk to your tax preparer or an attorney, someone who has, a good understanding of this law and make for certain that you do or do not need to comply with it.
Absolutely. Now, all this information comes out in a very timely newsletter that the department sends out called the Economic and Policy Update. And people can subscribe to that and get that delivered straight to their mailbox.
Things like this Corporate Transparency Act, there's been two articles on it over the past 6 months. But, grain market updates, farm transitions, anything that is timely or necessary or what we think farmers should be thinking about comes out in this, and all different authors. And it sounds biased, but it's a really great newsletter that I encourage everyone to subscribe for.
Absolutely. And people can subscribe by going to the university, finding one of those and there's subscription information there, or you can just scan this QR code to get subscribed. Jonathan, certainly appreciate you visiting with us today and sharing this very important information for any business owner, but we want to make sure that our farmers especially know that this does apply to them as well. Thanks for watching and have a great day.